How are you action figure enthusiasts out there? JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new X-Men Marvel Legends Omega Red figure from Hasbro. Now this 6-inch figure is part of the second wave of Deadpool figures, and it comes packaged in the same style that we've been seeing with all the Marvel Legend figures. You've got the black box. Up at the top, you've got the Marvel Legends series logo. The figure's clearly displayed. Down below you've got the X-Men logo, since Omega Red is an X-Men villain, and then you've got the name of the character. Up at the very top you've got the symbol for the X-Men with the red outline, and then on the side of the packaging you've got artwork for Omega Red. It's the same on both sides. And then on the back of the packaging you have a look at the actual figure, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Sauron Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now first of all, you get the left leg for the Sauron Build-A-Figure with this one, and I'll be taking a look at the Build-A-Figure once I've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. Now for accessories with this figure, you get two different sets of tentacles for Omega Red, so you get a long pair, and these are done with a rubber type material and they're painted silver. You've got some sculpting detail. These are not bendy wire, unfortunately, so you can kind of pull them out like this, but they're going to go back into the same position, and they're very flimsy, so they're not really going to hold anything. But you do get a long pair, and then you also get this short pair, which I do like the fact that they included a short pair with this. And then basically the way this works is you have the holes on the bottom of the wrist of the figure, and then you can attach it so it looks like the tentacles are fully extended, or again you can use the short ones so it looks like they're just kind of barely sticking out. So again, I definitely like that they added the short pair, and then of course you can remove them all together so it doesn't look like he's got the tentacles extended at all. Okay, so for the figure itself, I think they've done a pretty good job overall with the sculpting. He is very clean looking. It's very basic paint applications, and they've made him very clean. He's got the white on the arms and the face, and there's really no wash effect with that, so it's a very bright white. He's got the yellow for the hair. There is some wash effect on the hair, some white wash. But again, it looks very clean. The hair is done with just a rubber material, so it is flexible a little bit. He's got the ponytail back here with the red rubber band around it. You can turn that a little bit, but I would be careful because you might snap that off if you turned it too much. He's got the shoulder pads and this harness piece, which is a separate piece. It's done with just a clean gray plastic with some red here on the top and on these little grenades. You've got some metallic silver here on the buckle piece as well. And then the rest of the figure, other than the arms, is basically just this red color. Now with the torso section, it is a little bit darker red, and then up here with the upper legs, and that's where you notice it the most. The lower legs here from the thigh swivel down is a lighter red color, and then you've got the knee pads with the metallic silver, you've got some sculpting detail, and you've got the wrist guards with which you got some sculpting detail, and then you've got the Omega symbol here with the silver and the red. He also has the headband that has the Omega symbol, and the Omega symbol here on the headband is actually sculpted on there, and it's a little bit lighter red color than the rest of the headband. He's got the yellow eyebrows to match the hair. He's got the gritting teeth, which I like that, and then he's got these silver things. It looks like he's wearing braces or something, so I like that detailing as well. Okay, so this figure stands right about 7 1/4 inches tall. If you count to the back of his ponytail, then it actually comes up over 7 1/2 inches. Here's a comparison with fellow Wolverine bad guy Sabretooth, and Omega Red is a bit taller, as he should be. Here's a comparison with a couple recent Wolverine figures, so the most recent Tiger Stripe Wolverine, and then Wolverine in his brown costume, and Omega Red is definitely taller than Wolverine, as he should be. Okay, and finally here's a comparison with the old classic Toy Biz Omega Red figure. Now I like the modern body on the new figure, as I generally do over the older Toy Biz figures, but I've got to say when comparing these two that the Toy Biz one is probably superior overall. It's got better paint applications, you've got this nice wash effect, you've got this more metallic red here on the wrist gauntlets, and I do have some fading. This is a very old figure, so a little bit of fading up here on the shoulder pads, but even still they look like they're actual metal shoulder pads and stuff. You've got some nice detailing with the hair and everything. And then the other thing I think where the Toy Biz one shines is with the tentacle pieces. We saw kind of the same thing with the Dr. Octopus figure. His tentacle pieces actually are made with bendy wire, so you can actually pose them and, you know, move them around, and they're sturdy enough that you can actually have them like grip other figures and stuff. So definitely you can do more with these tentacles that came with the Toy Biz one over the one that came with the Hasbro one. Now unfortunately, if you're wondering if you can take these tentacles from the Toy Biz figure and put them on this new Hasbro version, they are not really compatible. The peg is a different size, but you could probably find a way to make that work. But the big difference is just the way the peg is shaped. In the old Toy Biz one, it was basically made to plug in directly into the arm of the figure, whereas this one, it's got the little holes that kind of stick out and it's supposed to, you know, basically plug in forward. So I just don't think it would work very well. And then again, the peg is just a different size, so you'd have to shave down the peg on the tentacle piece to actually get it to fit in a hole if you really wanted to try and make it work. Okay, so for articulation on this new figure, you can turn the head to the left and the right. Even with the long hair, you can still turn the head, and you can actually look down very good. You really can't look back very much. A little bit though, even with the hair, you can actually look up a little bit, and then you really don't get a whole lot in the way of head pivot with this one. Now with the arms, you can get the arm out about that much. The shoulder pads do limit some of that movement. Same with the rotation. You can basically rotate it back and forth. If you really wanted to rotate it all the way around, because the shoulder pads are a separate piece, you can kind of do it out and back like that. But again, they do limit some of that movement. You've got a bicep swivel, you've got a double hinged elbow, so pretty good bending there. You've got rotation with the hands, and then you have hinges on the hands, so up and down movement there. You've got a midsection waist swivel, and you've got an ab crunch, so he can crunch forward pretty good, and you can have him crunch back pretty good. And you can actually remove this harness piece if you want to. Again, it is a separate piece, and it just snaps in the back here, and when you're actually moving it around, it might actually come unbuttoned, so it might actually start to come off on its own if you're not careful, so just be wary of that. With the legs, he can do the splits that much. You can get the leg up high good, and you can do the leg out and back. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. And then with the feet, you've got hinges, so up and down movement. He does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say this is a decent figure, a pretty solid figure overall. I like the look of it. I would have liked to have seen a little more paint detail, some wash effect and everything. I do think he looks very clean, a little too clean. And then my other complaint with the figure is it would have been nice if they'd given us bendy wire with the tentacle pieces. I think that would have been a really nice touch. I do like the fact that they included the short versions of the tentacles as well as the long version, but I really think bendy wire would have been the way to go with these. Otherwise though, I think it's a solid looking figure. I like the sculpting detail. I do think it looks better than the old Toy Biz one in that regard. And if you're a fan of Omega Red or just want another bad guy for your Wolverine figure to fight, I think this is one you'll want to add to your collection. Now this wave is starting to hit shelves now. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below. You should also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.